viewers, welcome back to the Self-Made Auto channel. Got our 2015 Subaru. It's the Crosstrek, it's the big 2.0, and it needs front ball joints. Easy peasy, folks. Get out the biscuits because we're going to be slopping up the gravy. Once the wheel is off, we'll take off the castle nut. Now you can take your time to take the cotter pin out, but we're not reusing anything, so we don't really care. So we're going to take the cotter pin out the old-fashioned way. Beat a socket up on there. Get the wrong size socket, you ding-dong. That's a 21. What is this thing, 19? Yep, appears to be. We'll go get a black one before somebody gets mad at us. I should know better. There's that one. I'll go do the other side. So we're going to see if we can't pop the ball joint off. We could just pickle fork it if we wanted to, because we're not really worried about destroying it at this point. Come on, baby! Oh. There she goes. Now you just gotta give her a little whack. Well, that worked. Well, she's cracked loose. We'll use the old hockey stick. Push that to the side and we'll do the other side. And this is where life gets real, folks. Do not, under any circumstance, break this bolt off in the spindle. I tell my boy Josh there all the time, you break the bolt, I'm going to punch you in the throat. That's exactly what I tell him. I'm a pretty nice guy. So use an old Subaru catalytic converter heat shield would be my suggestion to you, because they fit quite perfectly to protect the CV axle, is what you want to protect. If you don't trust yourself, or you don't have a suitable heat shield, remove the CV axle from the front would be my next suggestion. Try to get some light where we can see. So we're going to stick this through here. Make sure it's not touching the CV boot, because if your heat shield touches the CV boot, all of a sudden it just becomes a conductor and not so much a shield, an insulator, I guess it would be. And then what you want to do is take your lower knuckle there, and we want to turn it blood red, and very gingerly work this bolt. I can't see crap. That's a little better. Make sure that you have your 14 mil socket that you probably aren't in love with, or at least one that you can get warrantied easily. And that's what we have here. We've got one from the Mac man, so we'll give this back to him next week once we turn the end of it blue. And you'll notice when you try to take this off, it's not going to want to cooperate. Heat shield in place, fire extinguisher ready, torch at hand, and just let her rip. Now I find that sometimes it seizes up here on the straight shank portion of the bolt where it goes through, and sometimes on the threaded portion. Usually I'll heat up one side or the other, give it a go. You're going to want it just this side of liquid. So that's not quite as high as I normally take it, but we're going to see if that cracks it loose. Be very careful. Mother lover. We got nothing, folks. This is a very delicate process. I don't care what you spray on it, it ain't gonna work. Unless it's oxygen and acetylene. If you spray it with that, it'll come loose, but just be cautious, folks. I've done a lot of Subaru ball joints, so this is where you're going to have to trust me here. And this one's not even really that rusty, to be honest with you. Oh, mother lover. Yeah, that's right, baby. Once you feel her cracking loose, you know you got her. But make dang sure that it's actually turning on this side. Make sure you can see it with your own peepers. Like right now, I can see that side turning. All right, and at this point, grab your weakest impact. At least one you can put in wuss bag mode. We're gonna give her some rattles. Can you guys see? Now you'd be real tempted to grab the big dog, but don't do that because you're just gonna snap it off. Now brush it with a little bit of acetylene. Yeah, baby! Go up our heat shield. Because I gotta slip it up past the CV boot here. There you go. Now you didn't hurt your boot. Let's set down the turtle shell here. And out she comes. So that's easy. Easy peasy changing your ball joints on your Subaru. Piece of cake. As long as you have a torch. Woo, woo, ah! Who would have thought? So now that that's done, all you gotta do is pop the ball joint out. Bada bing, bada boom. Now, we'll see. I'm gonna have to move. That give us some room. Move your tie rod one way or the next. That should give us enough room. We will get our Subaru ball joint puller up on this joint. Thread that baby up on there. This is made by Astro. Handy bit of kit right here, folks. Because getting the bolt out is step one. And that's usually a mother lover. Step two, that's a mother lover, is getting the ball joint out of the hole, out of the knuckle. Not anymore. Whoa, almost ripped my finger off. But there. That was easy. Easy, easy, easy there, Thor. Tough guy. So there it is, it yanks it right out. Huh? Look at that. Because these things can be a son of a hoo-hoo because they get rusted in there so stinking bad. Oh, that freaking whacked my finger. They don't even have a warning on this thing that says don't whack your finger like a ding-dong. And then the other cool part about the Astro tool is if you want, you can take the center out of it here with a pair of pliers or your fingers. Van Pliers, not a sponsor. Take that out. She's threaded on that side. How was that? Half 25/8 something. Same thread as your slide hammer. So if you wanted to, you could hook that on your slide hammer, screw it up on there, boom, boom, boom. But why would you do that when you've got this bit of kit right here? It is your classic Astro, whatever that number is, 78620. I think, can you guys read that? Probably not. But that's your Subaru ball joint puller, quite inexpensive, but a handy dandy tool, let me tell you what. We'll go do it on the other side, I'll show you. So of course over here, I've already done all the heating and the swearing. This side came off hard. So we thread that baby up on there, get a few threads. Don't jam it down, don't be an animal. Oh, let me move this back so you can see. If you want to see, then you break out Thor. Or hammer up. It's all lined up like that. It's got pins that hold it from turning. Don't let them hit your fingers like I did. Be a ding dong. Hope Thor just plays with that thing. There she is. You can see how crusty and nasty that was. How much of a pain that would be to take out. But not no more. You're not. That's not doing anything for me. Now it is. So then you have to clean out the hole. So I just go up in with a little flap wheel. It doesn't take much to get the sides cleaned off. However, up in the very top, we'll get a chisel or something here, and we'll knock out the rust. You'll see a bunch of that fall out. Bear with me. Hold on, folks. I think we'll use the needle scaler. She's old school and it leaks because it needs a new air fitting on the end. But we'll go up in here and rattle out that crap. Yeah, baby. Needles, I'm trying to plug the air hose into this thing. Come on, DeWalt. There, now she's got a clean hole. Well, not once you get past the use part, then it's pretty filthy. But let's shine that up. Let's have a look. Oh, fancy. Okay, that should be good. So now, the new ball joint, when we get ready to put it in, it should slip in easy peasy. Now, I got these from Napper. They're made by CTR. CTR ball joints, not a sponsor, made in Korea. Napper's just now starting to get some CTR stuff, which I've used in the past. And I've had good success with, and they're priced quite reasonable. So I chose these over the Napper chassis products. Because they come in a bag, folks. I don't know what that means, but I think they make a lot of OEM stuff too, to be honest with you. And this should, in theory, doesn't fit. What a piece of junk. No, I'm just kidding. I do have to clean it out some more. There is still some junk in there, but once we get her just right, we should be able to just very lightly love tap that up in there. We're gonna never seize the snot out of it. And then we should be good to go. I guess avoid the temptation of wanting to spread this apart right here. It's really easy for us to want to just smash a chisel or something in there and spread that apart. It can make putting the bolt in a son of a mother. You take the chance of, smashing the edge over. So try to avoid that, in my opinion. We got her cleaned up pretty good. I'm going to use a little Never Seas, but there's no freaking brush on it. I'm going to go ahead and use some Never Seas. Try this again. Hey, look, this one has a brush. We're going to slobber it right up in there. Get it good, folks. Don't miss anything. Chances are you'll never be doing the ball joints again anyways, but try to make life easy for the next guy, the guy at the pick and pull, I like to say. When he finds this little gem, get that lined up. Should have Josh over here helping me. I'm going to stick a socket on here. We shouldn't have to whale the crap out of it. Find a hammer. Always have a hammer handy. Alright, I'm just being silly at that point. Let's go find the bolt. Make sure you clean your bolts up on old Roger, or whatever the name of your wire wheel is, and then we're going to coat it with Never Seas. Now it's going to go against everything that service data probably tells you to do. But I live in the real world, folks. Not some engineer's fantasy land. And if you ever want to get that thing back out with a little bit of hope, put some Never Seas on it. Now make darn sure you start that by hand. Don't go just smashing her down in there with the Ugga Dugga gun. Feels like it started. We'll get a ratchet, that way we can force it in. Just kidding, don't go forcing it in. You should be able to see it. Yeah, we see her coming through. And once that's started, you don't have to worry about tightening it down right now. We just want to make darn sure it's started, and then we'll stick the ball joint in, and then we'll get her all torqued in and whatnot. Now, I will say, some of you in the future are watching this video because you're doing your Subaru ball joints, and either A, you got the bolt out and you don't know how to get the joint out, or B, you snap the bolt off and you're wondering what in the you're gonna do. Well, let me tell you. You can A, go to the junkyard, get a new knuckle, start over, okay? Heat her up blood red, get it out. B, drill it, try to easy out it. C, take out where I would do, usually they snap off right here in the middle. I'd stick a big old nut on here, fry that sucker on there with a welder, try to pull it out this way. That might work for you. D, drill it straight through, nice and straight, and then nut and bolt. Seen that a lot come through. I don't know if those are all viable options, or what I'm supposed to tell you, what you should do is go to the dealer, buy a brand new knuckle, new bolt, new ball joint, new wheel bearing, and do it that way. That's the appropriate way. But I just giving you options of things I've seen come in on other cars. But if you're here being proactive, wondering if you should do your ball joint job or not, which hopefully you're looking before you get started, we'll tighten that down. And then you've learned a lesson like, hey, that bolt is a son of a mother, unless you live in Florida or somewhere else, like New York. So now we're gonna line that up. Let me get the hockey puck. Stick, not a puck. Now don't go ripping your brand new boot. Oh, you dink. What are we doing? What are we doing here, fella? Get that kind of lined up. We have the wheel turned quite a ways right now. Easy. So we're going to turn our wheel in. Oh, right nice. Went in there right nice. And then these don't come with cotter pins. They use a lock nut. Nylock to be specific. So we'll snug that up. But while we have it held in there, now we can get the torque spec and you can tighten up your ball joint here while it's being held still. Click, click. And then we'll get the torque spec on this baby, get that snugged up. And there you have it, folks. One CTR ball joint completely installed. Now, a lot of you are saying, why is that boot all crooked there, Mr. O? I don't even know if that's how you talk, but the suspension is what we call full droop right now for your Jeep guys. When we sit at ride height, that boot will be nice and straight. They're a non-greasable joint, but you can see everything looks hunky-dory. You can also see the giant crack in the control arm, because somebody's going to write a comment about that. I never see these cracks, but it's inevitable. It's going to be in the comment section. Did you see the broken frame? It was snapped in half. Now all we have to do is go over here, do the same thing on this side. We've already got this bolt out. This is the one we started on. That one's out ready to go. And like I say, it's pretty easy, providing you've got this tool from the Astro. Pretty inexpensive. Move this thing out of the way. We got this tool from the Astro Tools. Don't even know the part number on it or what it's for, but we got that baby. Worked good for what we had to do. We got that from the Astro. We got Thor from the Astro. We got the needle scaler from the yard sale. I believe that's where it came from. I don't even know what brand that one is. It's old. Might have came over on an old wooden ship. Sprayer from Napper, not a sponsor. Few sockets. Pretty easy, folks. And that, folks, is that. So, not too bad putting the lower ball joints in your Subaru. Now, they've used this style forever. I don't know what years, but for a long time. And that bolt, that cross bolt that holds them in, is always a mother lover to get out, and it's always the hardest thing for folks to do. Now, getting the ball joint out of the knuckle is the second hardest thing to do. I'd like to hear your methods, what you do down there in the comment section to get them out. Do you spray them with some Panther Pea? Do you spray them with oxygen acetylene? Do you just buy a whole new knuckle from Subaru? What do you do? While you're down there, subscribe, the Insta, the Facebook. And just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.